The Unity. The Unity was a militaristic organization led by the Master, who was originally Richard Gray, an adventurer horribly mutated by the forced evolutionary virus. This transformation gave him greatly increased mental capacity and the ability to assimilate other super mutants into his hive mind. The Master's goal was to create a master race by forcefully converting all worthy humans into super mutants using FEV. According to him, as long as differences existed, humanity would tear itself apart, and so he came up with the one race, one goal, one people solution. Those who didn't qualify for conversion would live under Unity control but be sterilized. The Unity was primarily composed of super mutants, green-skinned former humans who are stronger, more resilient, and immune to radiation. Elite Nightkins served as commanders and assassins, equipped with stealth boys and the best weapons. The Children of the Cathedral, a doomsday cult, acted as their public face, running hospitals and churches to secretly gather conversion subjects. The Unity's power came from sheer brute force, thanks to the super mutants, who are uniformly powerful and equipped with heavy weapons and energy rifles. They operated from key bases like the Cathedral in Los Angeles and Mariposa military base, and even possessed a nuclear weapon as a last resort. However, the Unity had a fatal flaw that would doom them even if they succeeded. FEV renders all super mutants sterile, meaning their perfect society would eventually lead to humanity's extinction. In 2162, the Vault Dweller exploits this weakness in Fallout 1, convincing the Master of his plan's futility and destroying both the Cathedral and Mariposa base. This ended the Unity's threat forever. The Enclave. They claim to be the legitimate continuation of the pre-war United States government, but they're really just a fascist paramilitary organization with genocidal ambitions. Their origins trace back to a pre-war deep state, a secretive coalition of high-ranking politicians, military officials, and corporate leaders who shaped American policy from the shadows. When nuclear war became inevitable, these elites retreated to fortified locations like the presidential oil rig in the Pacific Ocean and Raven Rock. They then seized control by executing non-Enclave government survivors who reached their shelters after the Great War. But the Enclave's reach extended far beyond their own bunkers through their secret control over Vault-Tec Corporation. The Enclave used Vault-Tec's horrific experiments on their dwellers as a massive data-gathering operation, originally planning to use the results for space colonization when Earth became uninhabitable. When the Vault experiments failed and FEV mutations spread throughout the ecosystem, the Enclave abandoned their space plans and shifted to their genocidal solution instead. The Enclave operates under a president as commander-in-chief, with leaders like Dick Richardson and John Henry Eden, an AI programmed with a database of American history. Their society is divided into military, science, and civilian categories, and the group's ultimate goal is quite simple and evil: to exterminate all non-Enclave humans whom they consider genetic non-compliance offenders due to radiation exposure. That's because they believe they're the last pure humans on Earth and are entitled to reclaim the world by force. But what makes the Enclave truly scary and dangerous is their technological superiority. Like the Brotherhood of Steel, they possess huge stockpiles of power armor and pre-war technology. They'll also do whatever it takes to achieve their goals. The Enclave developed FEV Curling 13, a biological weapon capable of killing 99.5% of all mutants worldwide, which was hours away from being deployed into the atmosphere during Fallout 2's events. This was also apparent in Appalachia when they created the Scorched Plague to justify nuclear strikes against China. Throughout the games, they've been the main antagonists in Fallout 2 and 3, suffering major defeats from the Chosen One and the Lone Wanderer aided by the Brotherhood of Steel. Despite this fact, isolated Enclave remnants continued to survive across the former United States. Brotherhood of Steel. Founded by Captain Roger Maxon in 2077, this paramilitary order started as an act of rebellion when Maxon's unit at Mariposa military base discovered that the US government was conducting horrific experiments on soldiers using the forced evolutionary virus. When Maxon confronted the chief researcher about these experiments, he shot him and declared his unit's secession from the United States. 3 days later, the Great War began, and the rest was history. At the core of the Brotherhood is the belief that advanced weapons and scientific knowledge are too dangerous for regular people to handle, which is why they've dedicated themselves to preserving and controlling advanced technology. They operate with a strict military hierarchy led by High Elders and Chapter Elders, but consists mostly of their combatants called Paladins and Knights. What makes the Brotherhood recognizable is their use of power armor suits, energy weapons, and heavy artillery, which has become their signature. But all of that isn't just for show, because their achievements speak for themselves. In one instance, the Brotherhood were able to defeat the Enclave at Project Purity by reactivating and utilizing Liberty Prime, a powerful, gigantic robot. They were able to wipe out the deadly raider group called Vipers in New California within just a month, and they played a crucial role in defeating the Master's super mutant army in 2161. The Brotherhood has spread across the former United States with major bases at Lost Hills in California, the Citadel in Washington, D.C., and the Boston Airport. Throughout the games, they've evolved from small isolationists in Fallout 1 to dominant forces in Fallout 4, where Arthur Maxon's chapter arrived in the Commonwealth to destroy the Institute. While they may be seen as heroes to some people, others consider them as tyrannical gatekeepers who are undoubtedly one of the wasteland's most formidable forces. The New California Republic. Commonly known as the NCR, it was founded in 2189 by Aradesh, starting as a post-war federal republic that saw itself as the true successor to the old United States. It was the largest known post-war country at its peak, with 5 states across Southern California and land stretching into Oregon, Nevada, Arizona, and northern Mexico. Committed to democracy, the NCR banned discrimination, gave legal protection to ghouls and mutants in 2205, let everyone vote, and outlawed slavery. Under legendary President Tandy, who served over 10 terms from 2196 to 2248, the NCR went from rebuilding roads and cities to aggressively taking over new territories. The NCR operates like a real government with an elected president and senate, though leaders like Aaron Kimball pushed aggressive policies like taking over New Vegas. Unlike other wasteland factions, they actually protect both citizens with full rights and non-citizens under their laws. Their military is split between the regular NCR Army and the Elite Rangers, while the Office of Science and Industry handles their research and development. Their military power comes from huge numbers. Over 700,000 citizens give them massive manpower for one of the wasteland's biggest armies. They have standard weapons, fixed-up vertibirds from their war with the Enclave, and Elite Rangers with the best gear. Their strong economy is built on cattle herds, farming, and powerful trading companies like gunrunners. However, in 2283, the NCR's capital, Shady Sands, was destroyed by a nuclear bomb, and by 2296, their population had shrunk dramatically. Throughout the Fallout games, the NCR grew from a small mention in the original to a major power in Fallout 2 and a central faction in New Vegas fighting Caesar's Legion. But the TV series revealed their devastating fall when the Brotherhood stormed Griffith Observatory to seize cold fusion technology, wiping out the last organized NCR remnant and reducing the once mighty Republic to scattered survivors. Caesar's Legion. This is arguably the most brutal faction in the Fallout universe. Caesar's Legion was founded in 2247 by Edward Caesar Sallow and Joshua Graham. It's a totalitarian dictatorship that models itself after the Roman Empire, even complete with Latin names, military tactics, and ruthless conquests and enslavement, signature of the past empire. Caesar's goal is to conquer the NCR and combine its infrastructures and systems with the Legion's military power. This is what he believes will create a perfect empire, and anyone who thinks otherwise will be destroyed or enslaved. The Legion works under a strict chain of command with Caesar as absolute ruler, worshipped as the son of Mars, while his brutal military leader Legate Lanius serves as his right hand. Built on the backs of enslaved tribal groups, they've conquered 87 tribes by 2281, forcing healthy men to become completely loyal soldiers through harsh training. Women are banned from fighting and treated mainly as baby makers, while conquered people either become subjects living under Legion rule or outright slaves. What makes their military so dangerous is the combination of huge numbers and perfect discipline. Since soldiers are trained not to think for themselves, they'll follow any order until they die, fighting in Roman-style waves during battle with light armor and close combat weapons. They are also horribly ruthless to break their enemies' spirits. This includes nailing people to crosses or using children as soldiers and systematic torture. In New Vegas, they serve as the main antagonists fighting the NCR for control of Hoover Dam. They're seeking revenge after the NCR crushed them at the First Battle of Hoover Dam in 2277, where the NCR lured their elite forces into a trap at Boulder City. Caesar was so furious about this defeat that he had Joshua Graham, his original military leader, burned and thrown into the Grand Canyon. Graham survived, though, and became the iconic character that we know. The Legion's future is tied directly to Caesar himself. Characters like Mr. House predict that once Caesar dies, the Legion will collapse within a year from internal fighting. New Vegas. It's a faction created by one man who was ready when the world was on fire. Mr. Robert Edwin House was a pre-war tech billionaire who founded Robco Industries and actually saw the Great War coming and prepared for it. When the bombs finally fell on October 23, 2077, his advanced defense systems shot down 59 nuclear warheads and destroyed 9 others with laser cannons, saving Las Vegas from complete destruction. But House didn't just survive, he had a plan. After placing himself in a life support system connected to a supercomputer, he spent decades in a coma before waking up in 2138 to start rebuilding. Now, operating from his sealed chamber in the Lucky 38 casino, he controls everything through his vast army of Securitron robots. The New Vegas faction revolves entirely around House's genius and consists of the 3 families, the Chairman, Omertas, and White Glove Society. They run the Strip's casinos under his direction, but his real power comes from the army of Securitron robots that serve as enforcers and ambassadors, since he prefers machines that won't question orders or die pointlessly in battle like human soldiers would. Mr. House wants to restore New Vegas to its pre-war glory, then guide humanity to the stars within a century. But unlike other faction leaders who try to copy old governments, House believes democracy is too slow and messy for the wasteland, so he wants complete autocratic control instead. However, House is smart enough that he signed treaties with the NCR to keep them at bay while maintaining independence. In Fallout New Vegas, his fate depends entirely on the player's choices. He can either build his unforgiving but prosperous civilization or die along with his dreams. The Institute. To most people in the Commonwealth, the Institute is just a rumor, but beneath the ruins of the old Commonwealth Institute of Technology lies a fully operational underground facility. Formed in 2110 by descendants of CIT survivors, the Institute is a highly advanced scientific society with the goal of advancing humanity through technology. They believe only their members are worth saving and seek to reclaim the surface once their vision is ready. Their efforts center on energy independence, synthetic life, and self-sustaining systems. They're organized into divisions like Advanced Systems, Bioscience, Robotics, and the Synth Retention Bureau. Leadership is handled by a directorate with one appointed director, Father, who in Fallout 4 is revealed to be the sole survivor's abducted son, Sean. The Institute's military power comes from its synth army and elite coursers, who use stealth, infiltration, and teleportation. Surveillance is handled through Watchers, synthetic crows with built-in cameras. They're also not afraid to use this military might. During the 2230s, the Institute committed the massacre of the Commonwealth provincial government, which was only mentioned in Fallout 4. This event effectively killed people who were trying to create a stable Commonwealth government and destroying any hopes of a post-war government. In Fallout 4, players can either destroy the Institute completely or take control as its new director, deciding whether their twisted vision of humanity's future will continue. The Gunners. While most mercenary groups in the Wasteland are just raiders with better gear, the Gunners are something far more dangerous. They're a highly organized military force operating primarily in the Commonwealth that will take any contract as long as the price is right. The Gunners have a no-prisoners approach to business, and they'll wipe out entire settlements if they think the targets are too weak to fight back. Members wear military gear, and they're marked with forehead tattoos to show loyalty. They operate from their headquarters at Gunners Plaza and various strongholds throughout the Commonwealth. Their combat effectiveness comes from training that rivals the Brotherhood of Steel, combined with excellent equipment including combat rifles, power armor, and even heavy weapons like the Fat Man. They also use robots like Assaultrons and Sentry bots to boost their forces. Their most notorious action was the Quincy Massacre, where they destroyed the settlement and caused the collapse of the Commonwealth Minutemen, with only about 20 people surviving the attack. However, the Gunners have a critical weakness. While they're deadly on a tactical level, they completely lack strategic coordination. This prevents them from taking over the Commonwealth despite their superior training and equipment. Clashes with the Brotherhood of Steel are a common occurrence, with the Gunners sometimes defeated over control of key areas like the Mass Fusion Building. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe.